We're out here in a new community just south of Boise that's literally gonna be the size of a new city with up to 15,000 homes, schools, parks, urgent care, commercial amenities. And it's not just some future plan, it's underway right now. Welcome to Mayfield Springs.
This isn't just another community, this isn't something entirely different. And we're here on the ground floor. This should be one of the first videos on what is going to be 15,000 houses and absolutely a great opportunity for so many.
We're taking you inside Mayfield Springs to discuss the affordable alley load homes that will be available in August. Also the luxury estates on almost a half-acre lot available later this fall. Plus we'll break down how to save thousands with some of the local incentives out here. Not only is this an insanely amenity-rich community, but you also get huge savings from the affordable alley load homes to the spacious acreage lots. And it's closer to Boise than any other development out here.
Okay, now before we dive into Mayfield Springs, obviously this is a channel at Boise Real Estate Insights where we're here to provide you guys valuable information. This video as an example, you guys are gonna see how crazy this community is gonna be, how really groundbreaking it is to the Boise real estate market. And we're some of the first people out here, even though there's no houses, we want you guys to be informed on it. But this is a channel for that. We're here to build relationships, actually provide you guys value. And so subscribe to the channel, reach out to us if you guys have questions. We really want a relationship. We're not just transactional real estate agents, and we're doing this every day.
Yeah, and I will say from comments and experience with a lot of you reaching out, we're going to give you our honest opinion, good, bad, or indifferent, and not just sales pitch you Idaho's the best place to live. A lot of you are watching in Idaho, so you already know that. Even though we might believe it,
Yep.
We're not here to convince or sell you on something that maybe isn't the right fit for you. We want to understand what you're looking for and if this area, this community or another community is the right one that'll actually fit your needs.
Yep, so now we can dive into Mayfield Springs, because you guys can see in the backdrop, there's not much going on yet.
Sagebrush in the morning.
Yeah. So what you see is not what you get, I guess.
Sure.
And which is why we wanted to come out early, because there's a lot that's going to this community. It's really just coming to light. Like people are just finding out about it. So you guys can see the firehouse right there. Obviously want to get that in before any of the houses get built. We mentioned it at the beginning, but houses will be available in August, September, and then the estate lots that we're going to talk about at the end with half-acre plus lots, those will be available in the late fall. So we'll get to the housing part, but we want to give you guys information on what this community is actually going to be.
Yeah, and where it is. So obviously a lot of you may have, actually probably a lot of you have not even heard about it. Maybe some of you have. Yeah. So Mayfield Springs is almost exactly smack dab between Boise and Mountain Home. So we are South Boise, and that's where we're closer, and we mentioned at the beginning, this is closer than almost any other new development where you can get affordable homes and a wide variety of home types from those half-acre lots to the alley load homes. And then again, because it's out here, it's going to be almost its own town, or truly will be in the long run, with amenities and a ton of other resources and localized commercial assets.
Yeah, and the plan to be 15,000 houses.
Yeah.
That's bigger than Valnova, which you guys have probably seen the video we've done on that. That's a big announcement. So it's going to be bigger than that when that's their goal when it's all said and done, right? Hopefully they get to that point.
Yep.
And Jesse mentioned the affordability, and we'll go through the amenities, but that's the big key, right? Is the location. We're 15 minutes to Boise versus similar priced homes. For a community like this, the only way you're going to get that is if you're in Caldwell or the outskirts of Nampa, where you're 45 minutes to an hour away from Boise. So to have that quick access into Boise, I mean, really Micron's 10 minutes away, the airport's 12 minutes away, and everything that is around Micron. Like there's amenities close by, even though it does feel like you're out here on your own, which the main part of this is the Mayfield amenities. So you guys see the firehouse. We've talked about the houses. There's going to be walking trails, of course. It's going to be a Firewise community. They're going to have internet included.
High end or brand new fiber, and that's I mean that's huge for a place out here. Obviously, clubhouse, the pool, all the typical development amenities. But in addition to that, Schools, so Gem Prep is already planned to be out in this area, so that's a local public charter school.
And then what they're doing with Gem Prep is at the beginning of Mayfield Springs, it'll be, I can't remember the term they gave it, but it'll be K through 5, and then as the community grows, they will have Gem Prep all the way up through high school. So eventually, as this builds out, there will be a full K through 12 school in the community itself. So yeah, amenity there with the school. Yeah,
even, I mean, because again, this development is going to be so large over time, there's a lot of commercial amenities planned as well. And some of those initial ones are like local community health care, where it's not just go see your doctor when you get sick, but actual proactive approach to having a healthy community. So some lifestyle activities that will be planned, you know, pop by and talk to about health and nutrition. So really they're trying to build this into and design it into truly a small town 15 minutes south of Boise. So you have most of what you need in the community feel, but you're only 15 minutes away from everything else that the major metropolitan area has to offer.
Yeah, and of course they're gonna have the walking trails, they're gonna have the parks, they're gonna have the open spaces out here. So you have all of those amenities. And then I'd say the biggest part, which we can just start diving into, is the housing. So you're gonna have the smaller housing sections, which will be called the villages and the ridge. But then I think I'm the most excited to talk about at the end is the estate lots, because a lot of people want land, they want half-acre plus lots, but it's hard to find that in the Boise area, either close to town or for an affordable price. Whereas in Mayfield Springs, you get the best of both worlds, right? You get half-acre plus lots with a view of the mountains while being 15 minutes to Boise, and for the similar price point that you would find in Caldwell or Nampa. So way more affordable than if you wanted to buy a half-acre lot in Eagle or Star or Boise. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about that here at the end, and we'll take a look at where they're at. But this first section is this section that we're walking through right here, which is the alley load homes, the single family homes that are going to be available here in just about a month. Yeah,
exactly. And going back to affordability, there's two pieces to that. One, these are great builders. I think there's a 10 builder team out here, and we'll list off a few of the ones that maybe you guys have heard of that we really respect and like. But also, if you're looking for an entry-level home, this is going to be, the alley load and small single families, a great place, because honestly, I think the starting price point is probably lower than really anything you can find even in the Treasure Valley. Maybe if you'd have to go to like Payette or Marsing or something like that, because some of the 1,100 to 1,300 square foot alley load homes are going to be sub 400 with a Boise address, 15 minutes to, campus to downtown and all that.
And to have both the alley load options, which will be about $50,000 to $70,000 less than a comparable in the Treasure Valley. So I'd say comparable to that, Payette, area. But you also get the single family home option. So there's multiple options out here, which is nice. And later down the road, it's gonna have a good mix of home buyers, whether it's first time home buyers for these alley loads, because it's gonna get a price point for some of you guys to be able to afford to buy your first house, sub 400,000 to get into a home and still be close to Boise and not have to commute that hour, which is great. But it's also gonna have, homes that are more reasonable, people moving in from Boise who want this type of community but don't want to pay Valnova or Eagle prices, right? So lots of things there.
And again, back to the smaller single family or alley load homes, most of the communities we're talking about that you can buy in that price point do not have amenities. They might have like a tot lot, as we call it, or a little park or a playground area, but they are usually not going to have clubhouse, community pool, health centers, a school, all the weekly or monthly type things that you need, all built into the community you're in. So you get to take advantage of all those and still get that entry level home that you probably can't find anywhere else.
Especially you start including the walking paths, the hiking trails, just the access to the mountains over here to our north or northeast. To have all of that and at an affordable price, you just can't find.
And part of it too, because this is a brand new community, there are certain incentives through different local banks, ICCU being the main one here, that have a specific rate breakdown or discount for anyone buying in this area. So if anyone is interested, obviously we can talk through that a little bit more, but also some of the numbers that make this place, I guess, even a bigger savings is taxes are, extremely low.
Yep.
Insurance is a little higher out here because
that would be one con. Right?
Yep. But in the net of cost of living out here in terms of property taxes, insurance, HOA fees, all that stuff is less than really anywhere else in the Treasure Valley. With low taxes, you do have slightly higher insurance, which again can adjust. And if anyone truly is interested, I mean, we can actually run through the specific numbers to show you what that looks like. But in general terms, you're going to save on all facets really of owning a home out here.
And when you buy a home, the purchase price is often the number that gets focused on.
Sure.
But
yep.
we try and talk about the monthly is what really comes down to it, what makes housing affordable.
Yep.
And so having the lower taxes, having the lower insurance, the lower HOA fee, as a whole, it's even more affordable. $400,000 house here to $400,000 house in the valley.
Yep.
It's more affordable on a monthly basis. And the insurance piece is, part of it is the fire insurance, right? And so for the first year that they have this community out here, they have to have that fire insurance because it has to go through the approval process, and the insurance companies need a year before they can lower your grade of fire danger. But what's nice is Mayfield Springs is giving you a credit to cover that cost for the first year. So they're taking it off, and then after that year, insurance will go back to just what would be a normal insurance that you guys would find in any community in Boise. So affordability is great, and in this section with these smaller homes gives you that option. But now we'll head over to the estate section, try and give you guys at least somewhat of a look of what those will be, because personally that's what I'm most excited for, is to have the ability to have the half-acre lots for an affordable price this close to Boise with a community like this. Okay, now we're out here standing on the single-family lots, which are actually quite a bit bigger than I guess I would have expected. They're really deep, which is nice. But behind us, you guys can see that's where the estates will be. So you're gonna have estate sections there, and then all throughout the foothill area, but those are the first ones that'll be available late fall with those half-acre lots. So we'll touch on that more because there are some key features about the half-acre estate lots that we want to talk about. But first, want to talk about some of the potential and things that are coming, I guess, to this area.
Yeah, I mean, a big one, just being as the Treasure Valley grows, we're continuing to spread out, and nothing really has come this way or has been able to come south of Boise until this community. And what really is going to, a big piece of what might feed that is Micron's growth. So part of it, their first $2 to $5 billion investment here in Boise for their manufacturing facility is already underway, and they're starting to hire towards that, but have not fully ramped up hiring for it yet. And that's going to bring thousands of jobs. And a lot of those jobs are going to be fairly high earners that are going to be purchasing homes. And typically, from experience with many Micron clients, real estate clients, they want to be close to Micron. They don't want the large commute. And this is about as close as you can get unless you're in Harris Ranch or the 2 or 3 communities literally adjacent to Micron.
Yeah, because you're only about 10 minutes to Micron, right? And this is just the first step of it. Keep an eye out for a video that we're gonna come out with next.
Yes.
But Micron just got announced that Idaho's getting another $50 billion for Micron to build another fab manufacturing plant. So it's $5 billion right now, and now it's going to be 10 times bigger, and that just got announced last week from the time of filming this. And so it's going to add even more expansion, because not only is that going to bring thousands of jobs with Micron and everything developed, but it's going to bring new businesses that are around that type of thing, like the data centers we're seeing in Kuna. I think we'll probably see more of that. It's going to be all of the supporting businesses that need to be around Micron, whether it's restaurants or things that come with having
a higher population,
a $50 billion inflow of money into a company. So lots of growth. And like Jesse said, we haven't had the growth out this direction. And I think Mayfield Springs is the one that's kind of putting their neck out on the line
for sure,
and starting what could be, okay, maybe we can develop this direction, especially with Micron and people wanting to be closer and not have to live in Caldwell or Nampa or even Southeast Boise, because it is just so expensive to live in Harris Ranch or even just Columbia Village, the Southeast Boise area. So.
Yeah, and we talked about roughly across the board a $50,000, $70,000 savings. But if you're looking at specific pockets like Harris Ranch, you're going to be 6 figures or more in a savings out here versus in a community like that. So it just opens up so many more opportunities for a variety of different buyers that still get almost exactly the same as what you'd want in a Boise area, a little bit longer commute. And when we say commute, I mean it's a pretty open freeway. It's not you know, side streets that take you 10 minutes to get 1 mile. So you're able to really get there pretty quick and easy. And yeah, I mean we're gonna see this area become a staple, I would say, in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I would say so too. And and there's also other talks of things. There's the casino that keeps getting announced that's going to be between here and Mountain Home. We'll see if that actually ever happens, but it does just show that there's developers and industries that are interested in the stretch from Boise to Mountain Home to show that the potential positives of the future. Now, I'd say there is a negative in that this is the first major community to be out this direction. So there is, I would say, realistically, a slight risk in living out here and not working out, and people deciding that developing this direction is not what it is. I'd say there's a much lower chance of that happening. But it is there, and we want you guys, of course, to know the negative side of things too. So I think over the next year or 2 years, we'll see what happens out here.
And the tough part is, so lower risk because of, yes, eventually, I mean, even literally just with Micron, half this community could be filled, because once they, I mean, we'll show you what the current new fab setup looks like. That's a fraction of the investment and cost that they're going to be bringing in on this second phase. Regardless if it goes all the way to 50 billion or not, it's going to be substantially bigger. And it's literally going to be tens of thousands of jobs. But what we do know is, yes, eventually it will build out. To me, like the highest risk is it takes a long time to get up and running. So it may start slow. Honestly, it probably will start a little bit slow, but what we've seen with developments like this is it starts slow and then it exponentially increases. And if you're one to be like, I want to buy or live out there, trying to time that, just like with anything else, you're gonna miss that you know, historic rise. So
like
if you're
Dry
willing
Creek
to wait,
Ranch is a good example of that.
Yeah,
Dry Creek Ranch, all of you guys who live here might know what it is, but at first it was far out there, not really that much, and now it is literally like the most desirable. Everyone wishes they could live in Dry Creek Ranch.
So that's hilarious. I remember when that started and it was like, oof, you know, people did not want to buy out there, people did not want to build out there, and then now it's like one of the most famous, you know, highest popular communities.
It's one of the only communities in Boise that kept going up in value and never really lost like the rest of it. So just as an example, but that's all of the upside, I guess, the potential risks, the potential upside of living out here and taking that chance and buying your first home out here, or the estates, which is what I'm the most excited about, because half-acre lots are so desirable. Dry Creek Ranch is an example of they had acre, half-acre lots. So to have the ability to buy a half-acre lot, which we don't have exact pricing, but based on everything that we've learned about this community so far, I would say 600,000 to 900,000 is probably a reasonable price range for where they're going to be starting out at. Versus if you go to a place like Valnova, which is a comparable style of community, but it's an Eagle, they're starting out at 900,000 plus, and that's not even half-acre lots, that's quarter-acre lots. So in Valnova, they're realistically, if they had half-acre lots, which they will eventually, you're going to be 1.2 plus guaranteed. So to have basically half the price while still being closer to Boise, I'm excited for that. But the other side of the estate lots is it's going to be a gated community. So it gives you a little bit more privacy, a little bit more security, even though there's nobody out here to rob your house. It just gives that kind of upscale style that you really would want when you have that half-acre estate style home.
Yeah, and again, great builders. So we'll name a few. So Riverwood Homes, Eaglewood Homes, Venta.
Three really popular ones in the area, and we'll see what happens with the estate lots. Bears is another one that is going to be out there. So they have 10 builders in with the alley loads with these. And then with the estates, it'll change a little bit just because you have the ability to build more of a custom home, right, on the half-acre lots. But you're also in the foothills. So you guys can see the lot we're standing on here is in kind of the bottom of the valley where they'll have walking paths down in the creek. Whereas the estates are going to be up elevated in all of these foothill sections all the way back. And it's going to give you a little bit better view. You're going to be elevated to see the Owyhee Mountains out to the south. And then really what you don't get in Boise is the, I guess, Boise Mountains, but the backside of them here to the north, which is great. So you get the opportunity there. And the most exciting part is just to have that exclusivity.
Oh boy.
Almost got it. But to have the affordable acreage properties close to Boise is really just the biggest thing.
Yeah, we've filmed other half-acre to acres type properties, and they are all deep in Canyon County and still a slightly higher price. So really the difference there is you feel like you're still in the Treasure Valley, but it takes just as long or longer to get to places like the Village, Meridian, Boise, than even here, even though it feels further out just because there's nothing in between. But if you really map it, check miles and time, you're closer, more affordable, and get amazing properties that you cannot get in Boise anywhere near this price.
Nope. And so great options for everybody. First-time home buyers, estate lots. We're excited to see what happens with Mayfield Springs. I think there's some really awesome potential here. Anytime you get in first in a community like this and it does end up taking off, you usually are happy that you did. And so trying to get you guys the information off the ground floor, but if you guys want to learn more about the Micron situation, keep an eye out for this video or click this video where me and Jesse will dive deep into the new $50 billion addition to Micron, how that's going to impact the real estate market, including Mayfield Springs. But thank you guys for watching. Look forward to meeting you in person.